In this video, we will learn about how Google indexes a website. Google uses a process called crawling to understand the page content. It crawls through your site to collect information about pages on the site. Google has specialized software called search bots. Bots are short for robots. So these search bots go from site to site looking for new or updated content to index. They generally land up on the home page, and from home page it will go to all the different pages. They can also land on any page on the site by following a link to it from another site. So Google discovers a link, it will follow the link and come to your page, and if that page is not already indexed, it will index or crawl that page. The information collected by search bots is dumped in Google's database, and then Google's algorithm processes that information about the content on your page to understand what the page is about. So Google uses the page title, what is in the page title, to understand what is the content of the page. It looks at page URL. Whatever is the content of the page URL, whatever keywords are used, Google uses that as an indicator about what is on the page. The page heading plays a very important role in helping Google understand the content of your page. So the heading should include the keyword you are targeting on the page. The actual content on the page is very important. Google loves pages which have lots of content. And that content should have the keyword that you are targeting on the page. Not too much, but just enough to help Google understand. If you use the keyword 3 or 4 times on the page, that is enough for Google to understand the main thrust or main key points about the page. So it will know which keywords are relevant for this page. You can use synonyms or latent semantic indexing keywords to help Google better understand your page. So you don't have to repeat the same keyword over and over again. You can use words that Google knows are synonyms, so it can figure out the exact keyword using the synonyms. Earlier, people used to stuff the page with keyword, and there were guidelines like 3% density or 5% density, which meant if your page has 100 words, 3 of them should be keyword. We don't need to follow any such guideline now. What we have to make sure is that the keyword or the key phrase is used in important places in the text, so Google can understand what the keyword is for the page. Image tags are very important in helping search engines indexing the page. Because search engine bots cannot understand what is there on the image, they rely on the meta tags used for image to understand what the image is about, what is there in the image. And the meta tags they rely on are the image title, that is the name of the image file. Each image you use on your page is essentially a computer file with its own name. So if you use the keyword in the file name, That helps improve Google's understanding of the page. Each image has a meta tag called alt tag or alternative text. So the alt text is used by Google and other search engines to understand what is there in the image. If you use the keyword in the alt text, it will help improve your on-page optimization and help Google understand the content of your page. The alt text was originally designed to be displayed on the page in case the image failed to load because of speed issues or some technical issues. So if the image does not load on the page, the browser will display the alt text in its place. So the user can read the alt text and understand what image was supposed to be here. And therefore, we should create alt text which describe the image. And if we include the keyword, then it will help the search engines understand the content of the page little better. So your indexing will improve for the targeted keyword. Let us look at the role of sitemaps. A sitemap helps search engines index your pages easily and more thoroughly by improving the page's visibility when the search bots visit your site. Sitemap is basically a collection of pages on your site and their URL. So it's a catalog of pages which are there on your site and their URL. So the URL tells search bots how to access the pages you include in your sitemap. You can create a sitemap manually. You can manually code it. It's an XML file. So you can use any text editor to create the sitemap. But the preferred method is to generate sitemap using tools. You can generate sitemap using a third-party tool, a tool hosted on another site, or you can use a tool that is installed on your own website and that keeps updating the sitemap as you add new content. So the bigger, more complex, more dynamic sites generally use tools on their site that can keep updating sitemap whenever a new page is added to the website or a page is edited and its URL or name is changed. The sitemap is then submitted to Google and Bing search engines to help them index the site. So whatever pages you include in the sitemap, those pages will be crawled by Google or Bing when they visit your site. And any page that is linked to from the pages included in the sitemaps. So suppose you have 15 pages on the site and your sitemap includes 10 pages. And the 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 pages have a link pointing to them from one of the pages in the 10 pages included in the sitemap. So the search bots will crawl the 10 pages included in the sitemap and they'll follow the link to the remaining 5 pages from those 10 pages and crawl those pages as well. Because sitemaps are very important in helping search engines index your site, it is very important that you have an updated sitemap on your website. So we must regenerate the sitemap and submit the new sitemap to Google every time we move pages, we change the URL, or we publish new content, new pages. Let us look at the sitemap in more detail. It is basically a way for us to organize the content on a website in a more catalog kind of fashion, so it becomes easy for search engines to discover pages on the site. In the beginning, sites used to have a sitemap at the bottom to tell users about the site, about how to navigate the site. In 2005, Google launched the Sitemap 0.84 protocol, which started using XML format for creating sitemaps. And as the users gained more experience using the websites, they did not use sitemaps as much to navigate the site. So the users did not need the sitemap much once they became familiar with the structure of websites. But the search bots still needed it to ensure that they were able to index all the pages there should be on the website. So for that purpose, Google created this XML format, and it was designed specifically for search engines to use so they could find the pages on the sites quickly. So the search bots would not waste time trying to figure out which pages to visit. The sitemap also includes information about how frequently the website is updated and when it was changed last. So when a Google search bot visits the site and it looks at the sitemap, it can look at when it was changed last, and if it has changed since the last time it was indexed, then it will crawl the website again. Otherwise, it will skip the website because it will think that the site has not changed since the last visit. So, with the new sitemap protocol, sites were able to organize and get their content indexed efficiently in Google. Initially, sites were small. When in the early days of internet, sites were not big and there were not a whole lot of sites. But as the users exploded, as the number of websites exploded, sites also started adding a lot of content because they start selling on the net. So everybody was trying to get customers, and one of the ways to getting customers is to have good informational content on your website. So everybody started adding lots and lots of content. As the amount of content started to explode, it became very difficult for websites to manage it and for Google to index everything that was going around on websites in an efficient manner. So the sitemap has now become a way for a website to organize the content and for Google and Bing search engines to efficiently index the pages on the site. If you look at Amazon, it has got millions of products. Each product has a page, so they got millions of pages. Because of blogging, many sites are adding new content every day. Some sites are adding, in fact, multiple pages every day. Forums, Q&A sites have lots of active users who are adding content every minute. And all of that needs to be indexed by Google if it wants to serve the right kind of result. The rapid changes to content made it impossible for sites to record these manually. So a Q&A site or forum site finds it very hard to create a sitemap manually. Even regular corporate websites will find it very difficult because they are changing content so much. E-commerce sites are adding products every day. They are changing products, dropping products. And because of that, it's very difficult for them to manually create sitemaps. With XML protocol, sites can automatically update their sitemaps whenever there is a change. So a page is added, a page is removed, a page is moved to a new URL, new image is added. So the image is going to have its own location on the website. All of that, a PDF file is uploaded. that needs to be indexed. So everything that is going on the site and that leads to a new content that needs to be indexed can be automatically added or updated in the sitemap using the XML protocol programmatically. So instead of doing this thing manually, now it is all happening programmatically using a software, and that makes it easy for sites to organize their content and Google to index it. So the important thing to note is that sitemaps role is to help search engines index the pages on the site, not to help the search engine decide how good that content is and where it should rank. So it does not impact to search rankings, but it is an important first step in making sure that your page is included in the search rankings. Where it shows up will depend on the quality of content and what kind of backlink point to it. So the sitemap's role is to help the search engines find and index pages on the website and figure out what the page is about once it gets indexed. So sitemap's basic role is helping search engines discover content. When search engines discover new content and add it to their database, then they can analyze it, figure out what this content is about, look at all the backlinks that is pointing towards it to figure out where should rank in search results, and then they are able to include these fresh updated content in their search results, so the search results stay relevant for users. As a site owner, by creating a sitemap, you make sure that all the important information that you want indexed by Google or Bing or other search engines is included in the sitemap and it gets indexed. There's also another role for sitemap, which is in protecting your original content, whatever content you create yourself, because duplicate content is a big problem on the net. As soon as you publish something, if it's good, somebody might copy it. So how do you prevent somebody from copying it, or at least prevent Google from giving credit for the content to some other site? So what we can do is, using the sitemap, we can tell Google about the content and get it indexed before a copy is published by another site. So the page, when you publish, has a publication date, so that can be included in the sitemap, and by immediately getting it into the sitemap and resubmitting the sitemap to Google, so it comes back and crawls. So Google is informed that your sitemap is changed, so it can come back and crawl. You make sure that even before somebody is able to copy your content, Google has indexed and included your page and your content in its database. So if it discovers someone else's page after this, Google may think that the second page is duplicate because it already has a similar page in its database. But it is not 100% reliable process of protecting your content. It does offer some protection, but not 100%. If somebody puts your content on a higher authority website like LinkedIn, then Google might consider the content published on LinkedIn as the original copy and penalize you for creating duplicate content, simply because LinkedIn has higher authority, and therefore Google thinks that that site is less likely to copy the content. If you are publishing video or you are including video on your website, you can use sitemap for video content. Google has a Google Video extension for sitemap protocol that helps you add information about video on the website. So you can create a video sitemap Or if you already have a sitemap and you have added video to your site, you can add this information to the existing sitemap. So the video sitemap will include link to the landing page for the video or the page which has the video, and you can use the metadata in the video to provide information about the video in the sitemap itself. So that will help Google index your video a lot better. This is how a sample sitemap looks like. The first line, XML version encoding, tells which XML version it is using and what encoding it is using. The second line defines what this sitemap schema is, the standard for the sitemap schema, which is, in this case, you can say it's 0.9. And then your actual sitemap starts. So you have everything in the sitemap is included in URL tags, and the URL has a location, which is the actual URL, the last modified date, its change frequency, and priority of indexing. The priority is relative to other pages. So if you give a page higher priority, it means that page is more important on your site, and therefore Google might rank that page above other pages on your site. So the opening tag in the sitemap is a URL set. So everything in the XML sitemap is included between URL set and end URL set tags. It's going to include the protocol, and then the URL tag itself is the parent tag for each URL entry or each page entry in your sitemap. Everything about the page is included within the URL tag. The LOC tag is the location tag. It identifies the URL of the page, and it must start with HTTP, HTTPS, or whatever the protocol the page follows. The location tag or URL must be less than 2048 characters. This is one of the reasons why we say don't make very long URLs. The last mod tag specifies the date of last modification of the file or the page. So if Google bot sees that the last modification date is after the last indexing date for the site, it is going to re-index that page. The change frequency tells search engines how frequently the page is likely to change. So search engine can decide the appropriate crawl frequency. If you say the page or the site changes every week, it will come back and recrawl every week. If you say it changes every month, then it will try and come every month. The priority tag basically prioritizes different pages on the site for the search engine. A high priority for a page means it is more important in the context of the website. The priority value ranges from 0 to 1. And the default priority, if you don't specify it, a page will have a priority of 0.5. If you give it a high priority, then Google thinks that page is more important. So if you have two pages which Google thinks are appropriate for the same keyword on your site, then a page with higher priority is more likely to show up higher in search results compared to the other page on your site, not compared to other pages on other sites. Creating sitemaps is relatively easier. Earlier we used to create it manually, but now we use tools to do that, because manually coding is very difficult, takes a lot of time, and is error prone. You can use many websites that let you generate your sitemaps. But if you're using an offsite tool, another website to generate your sitemap, then you'll need to regenerate the sitemap after every change and then upload the new sitemap to your website and then instruct Google to reindex your site. If you use a sitemap generation tool that is sitting on your website, then every time you change, it will automatically regenerate the sitemap. Once you have the sitemap ready, you can submit it to search engines using the Webmaster tool. Both Google and Bing offer their own Webmaster tool, so you need to create an account with both of them and submit your sitemap to Google using Google Webmaster tool and to Bing using Bing Webmaster tool. Submission basically means telling the search engine where the sitemap is located on your website. So you need to first upload the sitemap if you have generated it on some other site and you have encoded it manually, then you'll need to upload it. If you're using a tool that is sitting on your site and generating sitemap, then you need to get the URL of the sitemap from the tool and update the URL in the Google Webmaster tool or Bing Webmaster tool. Once you do that, then search engines will come and they start using the sitemap for indexing your website. Great. So let us see how well you have understood this topic. So what do we use sitemap for? To help users find pages on the site, to help search engines find pages on the site, to improve